Coming up this week, forgiveness. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Spoilers. It's a great chance that we have every week to prepare ourselves for worship. We know that worship is an incredible time. It's an opportunity that we have to connect to God, to engage with our lives in the midst of God's presence. And this is a chance for us to have a little bit of time of getting ready for that. We're continuing our look at the book of joy and what an incredible gift joy is in our lives. And we're looking at the pillars of joy. And this week we're looking at forgiveness. We know that forgiveness is not just a pillar of joy, but it's a pillar of our faith. So we're going to be using the text to guide us from Isaiah chapter 43, verses 16 through 21. Let's hear what that has to say. This is what the Lord says. He who made a way through the sea, a path through the mighty waters, who drew out the chariots and the horses, the army and reinforcements together, and they lay there, never to rise again, extinguished, snuffed out like a wick. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness, and streams in the wasteland. The wild animals honor me, the jackals and the owls, because I provide water in the wilderness and streams in the watershed, to give drink to my people, my chosen, the people I formed for myself, that they may proclaim my praise. So here we have Isaiah reminding the people of Israel of what God has done. Begins with talking about God leading them out of Egypt and making a dry pathway through the Red Sea and the chariots being swallowed up. But then he goes right on to say, but forget that. Forget that even happened. Because God is going to do a new thing. This is from 2nd Isaiah. The scholars kind of break down Isaiah into a couple different parts, and this is 2nd Isaiah. And the focus here is returning out of exile from Babylon. So they were being reminded of being held in exile in Egypt and how God delivered them. And now God is delivering them from Babylon, but it's in a new way. It's not exactly the way it happened before. It's actually a reversal, where there's streams being made in the wasteland to help them come back to Israel. And so I think as we think about forgiveness, a couple questions. How does this tie into forgiveness? How does this idea of forgetting about the past tie into how we can think about how we forgive? What is it in your past that might be good for you to forget about? What is it in your past that you're holding on to, that's holding you back, that's holding you down? And what does that look like to forget about that? And the last question is, how can we live this life of forgiveness? How can we find ways to be forgiving? And how does that tie in to forgetting about our past? Just as a reminder, we have a couple more opportunities to dive deeper into this topic and into this conversation. On Fridays at 9 o'clock at McDonald's, we have a Bible study where we will study this text and go a little bit more in depth into what this text is to provide a foundation for our worship. We have worship every Sunday, 9 o'clock at First and 10:30 at Trinity. It's a great time to experience God, to experience each other, and to experience what God is having to say to us this week. Look forward greatly to seeing you in those upcoming opportunities as we worship together and as we learn to forgive together. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.